All right, as usual, we are going to do Chapter 1, Exercise 8, the index key, one of the last exercises for Chapter 1. I don't know what it is about this textbook. I personally think this is one of the very easiest drawings that probably should have been up front. Um, but they tend to kind of put some of the what I feel are easier drawings in the back. You'll see this is just basically 6 lines for the exterior and then the 2 circles, and it's all kind of spelled out in terms of lengths and angles on the line, so we can put that in there. So let's go ahead and get a new drawing started. Again, use the imperial drawing template so that we can be in inches on this as opposed to metric. Our 0, 0, our datum point on this particular feature is going to be in the lower left-hand corner of the part, as you can look at that. So we basically have a part that's like 6 inches by 3 inches in width or wide, which is fine. So now that we're into the drawing, again, we will start out by specifying the units. So type in units, hit enter. We're going to change the format to decimal from architecture, and this is going to be a 3-point decimal. So object snaps, endpoint, and center are good for object snaps on this drawing. Polar tracking is on. It's 90 degrees. We don't really need it, so we can turn that off by placing a click there. Preferences, again, you can set these however you like, whether you want it light or dark, whether you want the ribbon on or off. I prefer the ribbon on because it more closely mimics what we see in the full version of AutoCAD when we're drawing in there. So, and now I am ready to start this drawing. So I'm going to start with the line tool up here. And again, my first point is to place my datum or my 0, 0. So I'm going to type in 0, tab 0 and hit enter. Now notice that is a long line length here of 1,440 some. So I'm going to come in here and I'm moving that over to the middle. I'm getting it shorter, and then I'm going to zoom in on that so that I can get a little closer with this. So as I go, so bring this back up. Now notice I kind of messed up here on this. That's all right. My roller track is kind of messing with me right now. So I'm going to confirm and get out of this, and we will delete that line now that we're zoomed in closer. So I'm going to come back and start all over. So we'll get the line in here. So, and I'm going to go 0, 0, enter. So now my line length as I look at the drawing is 6 inches. So I'm going to go 6, and it is at 0 degrees. So it goes to the right. It's a horizontal line going to the right. So it's going to be 0 degrees, and I hit enter. Zoom in a little bit more here. My next line length up as I'm looking, well, there is some possible problems here. So here's where we don't know where this line actually comes in at. So I'm going to right click and hit confirm at this point to get out of that line command. I do have enough information though where we can kind of finish the rest of this off. So let's go to the line command. We're going to come back here at our 0, 0. Now, because I've got a line already started and my object snaps are at 0 or at the endpoint, I can use the object snap now. I'm going to left click on that endpoint. I'm going to move up a vertical line as I look. This is a 3-inch line length, so I'm going to go 3 tab, and this should be at 90 degrees, and enter to put that in there. Now I'm moving to the right. My cursor goes to the right. This line length is 1 inch, so I'm going to type in 1. I'm going to hit the tab key, and again this is going to be 0 degrees because I'm going to the right. It's a horizontal line that's going to move to the right, so that'll be 0 degrees. I'm going to hit enter for there. My next line length, so I didn't quite hit enter, so I'm at 1 inch. So 0 degrees, enter. So there's my line length. Now, this line length is going to be 1.5. So I'm going to type in 1.5 hit tab so I can kind of tell. And as you see here, we're given the 45 degrees. So this is going to be 45 degrees. So type in 45, enter. So, and now I just need to kind of take this out. So, and we know, so where it's going to kind of come in line with. So I can let it overhang here. So the line length in this case doesn't really matter. So just so long as I go past the end point of that lower line. So let's say 5 inches. I'm going to tab over. This will be at 0 degrees again and enter to place that line. Right click, confirm to get out of it. Now, I know where to go next. So back to my line tool, to this endpoint. And in this case, I'm going to come all the way up. Go ahead and let it extend out. We're going to do a 3-inch line length here. So it doesn't have to be, just so long as over that line. I'm going to hit tab. This is 90 degrees and enter. Right click, confirm to get out of it. All right, so I now used some geometry, some endpoints. I used the endpoint of this line and the endpoint of that line to create those vertical lines to know exactly where this comes in at on that, because I wasn't given that information. So I've just kind of used some construction geometry to figure that out. But now I've got these lines that overhang each other. So I can go back to this scissor up here, which is my trim tool, and I'm going to come right down here. I'm going to press down on the left button, and I'm just going to kind of move over both of those and trim those out. That's what we call a power trim. So I could click each one at one at a time, or I can just left click and hold and move down. So now let me pan that up, and then I'm going to zoom in a little bit here again. So now I've got 2 circles, and these circles are going to be pretty easy to place because I've been given the positional coordinates of the center of each of these circles through the dimensions that are on this drawing. So let's go up to our circle creation here, our circle tool. And the first coordinate here, so we're going to enter the x and the y. Notice that's what it asks for first. So the first coordinate here is going to be 2.5x comma 1 and the y. Now look at the print here. Look at index key exercise 8 and see where I'm getting that 2.5 and 1 inch dimension for the center of that circle. Play and then click enter. Okay. Again, I know that is a diameter of 0.75. So, and right now it's giving me a radius tool. So I need to change that from radius to diameter. So I'm going to hit D, enter, 0.75 is the diameter, enter, and I place that circle. Right click on your mouse, go to repeat the last command. So we're coming in here now for the next circle. Now I need to take, and I see the 2.5 dimension and the 2-inch dimension. So I'm going to add those two together to get the x coordinate that I need for the other circle. And that x coordinate is going to be 4.5. I will put a comma. My y coordinate is the same as it was on the first circle, which is 1 inch. So I'll type that in and hit enter. And again, the same thing with this. I'm going to go D for diameter, and then this is a 0.75 diameter as well, and hit enter. And I now have completed this drawing as well. So I'm going to go up and go save as. We're going to name this as index key, E-I, capital I, N-D-E-X, capital K-E-Y, hyphen your first initial and followed by your full last name. Again, it's very, very important for a company to have a file naming convention, and it's very, very important for you to follow along with that file naming convention. So it helps for all the employees to be able to search and find that file on the computer database when they're looking for it. So don't go rogue. Keep your files named the way they need to be named and follow the file naming convention of the place where you're working at. So that kind of wraps this up. We're done with this drawing. It's been saved now, so I'm going to go back to my AutoCAD web main screen here, main page. So let's go ahead and scroll down to get to the index key. Here's the index key. I'm going to left click in the box. We'll click download so you can download that file. In my case, it downloads it to my download file folder on my computer. You can save this and have it downloaded to your documents, to your My Computer, to your desktop. You just need to remember where you download it to save it, and then remember to go in and upload it into Canvas so you can get full credit for that drawing.